He was known in the building as just the janitor, the man who came in late evenings and left before dawn, pushing his cart through empty corridors while most people slept. His name was Daniel Reyes, 37 years old, a widower, and the father of a 6-year-old girl who believed her dad could fix anything in the world as long as he tried hard enough. Daniel wore the same faded blue uniform every night, the knees of his pants worn thin, his shoes always clean even if everything else in his life felt worn down. He worked 2 jobs when he could, slept too little, and carried a grief he never talked about, the kind that settled deep and heavy and became part of how you breathed. Daniel had not planned to be there late that night. His daughter, Lily, had a school project due in the morning, and he promised her he would help glue the pictures before bedtime. But a coworker called in sick, and extra hours meant groceries for the week and maybe a small surprise for Lily on Friday. So he stayed, telling himself he would make it up to her tomorrow. Life as a single dad was a constant balancing act between love and survival, and most days he felt like he was failing at both. The building he cleaned was an upscale apartment complex, quiet and well lit, the kind of place where people assumed bad things did not happen. Daniel had learned long ago that trouble did not care about appearances. He had learned that in another life, one he rarely allowed himself to remember. Years ago, before Lily was born, before his wife died of a sudden illness, Daniel had served in the Navy. He was young then, strong, disciplined, trained to react under pressure. But that chapter of his life felt like it belonged to someone else now, sealed away behind memories he kept locked tight for the sake of his daughter. The scream came again, closer this time, and it was followed by the sound of heavy footsteps and angry voices. Daniel's hands tightened around the mop handle as he moved without thinking, his body remembering what his mind tried to forget. He followed the noise up the stairwell, his breath steady, his heart loud. On the 3rd floor, the scene exploded into view like a nightmare made real. 3 men had cornered a young woman near the fire exit, their shadows stretching long against the concrete walls. She was pressed back, her face streaked with tears, her hands shaking as she tried to protect herself. Daniel did not shout. He did not threaten. He stepped forward, placing himself between her and the men, his presence calm but immovable. One of them laughed when he saw the janitor's uniform, sneering as if Daniel were invisible. Another took a step closer, his intentions clear. That was when Lily's face flashed through Daniel's mind, her small voice echoing from earlier that evening when she hugged him goodbye and whispered, "Daddy, please help her," after seeing a news story about someone in trouble. He had promised her he always would. What happened next unfolded in seconds but felt like a lifetime. The men lunged, confident in their numbers, careless in their arrogance. Daniel moved with precision born from years of training, using balance and leverage rather than brute force. A mop handle became a barrier, then a weapon. A well-placed shove sent one man sprawling. Another found himself pinned against the wall, breath knocked from his lungs. The third swung wildly, panic replacing confidence, but Daniel was already inside his guard, ending the threat before it could escalate further. When it was over, the hallway was silent except for the woman's sobs and the ragged breathing of the men on the floor. Daniel stood there, chest rising and falling, hands trembling now that the danger had passed. He checked on the woman first, making sure she was safe. Guiding her to sit down, calling security and the police with a steady voice that surprised even him. By the time help arrived, Daniel was back to being the janitor again, standing off to the side, eyes down, trying to disappear. The police asked questions, took statements, and led the men away in handcuffs. Someone thanked Daniel, another patted his shoulder, but the attention made him uncomfortable. He went back to his cart, finished his shift, and drove home in the early hours of the morning, the city quiet around him. Lily was asleep when he arrived, her school project half finished on the table. Daniel sat there for a long time, staring at the glue and paper, replaying the night in his mind, wondering if he had done the right thing or if he had risked everything for a stranger. The next day passed like any other, or at least it tried to. Daniel took Lily to school, kissed her forehead, and went back to work, this time at his daytime job fixing small appliances. He expected nothing to come of the night before. Heroes, he believed, were people with titles and medals, not tired men in uniforms scrubbing floors. He did not know that the woman he had saved was the daughter of a Navy officer, or that her trembling phone call the night before had reached someone who understood exactly what kind of man steps forward without hesitation. That afternoon, as Daniel was mopping the lobby floor again, a black car pulled up outside the building. The kind of car that made people straighten their posture without knowing why. A man stepped out, tall and commanding, his presence filling the space before he even spoke. He wore a navy dress uniform, medals catching the light, his rank unmistakable. Conversations hushed. Staff stopped moving. The Navy Admiral walked inside and looked around until his eyes found Daniel. For a moment, Daniel thought he was in trouble. Old instincts flared, a reflexive sense of standing at attention even as he tried to remind himself he was just a janitor now. The Admiral approached him slowly, then stopped and extended his hand. In a voice that carried authority and gratitude in equal measure, he thanked Daniel for saving his daughter's life. He spoke of courage, of duty, of the kind of bravery that does not wear a uniform but deserves one just the same. The lobby watched as the Admiral spoke about Daniel's past service, a record he had quietly looked up, about the sacrifices he had made, not just for his country but for his family. He spoke about Lily, about the example her father was setting without even realizing it. Daniel felt his throat tighten, his eyes burning as he listened. He had spent years feeling invisible, reduced to a name badge and a mop, his worth measured in hours worked and bills paid. In that moment, someone saw him fully, not as what life had made him become, but as who he truly was. The Admiral did not come only with words. He came with an offer of support, resources, and recognition that Daniel never thought he would receive. More importantly, he came with respect. News of the visit spread quickly, and by the end of the day, people who had walked past Daniel 100 times now looked at him differently. Not with pity, but with admiration. Still, Daniel's greatest reward came that evening when he picked Lily up from school. She ran to him, her backpack bouncing, her smile bright. On the way home, she talked about her day, about a classmate who fell on the playground and how she helped them up. She looked at Daniel and said she did it because that is what heroes do. Daniel pulled the car over for a moment, overcome by emotion, and hugged her tightly, knowing that everything he had ever done, every sacrifice, every quiet act of kindness, was worth it for this moment alone. As the days passed, life did not magically become perfect. Daniel still worked hard, still worried about money, still missed his wife with an ache that never fully faded. But something had shifted inside him. He walked a little taller. He allowed himself to believe that his story mattered, that being kind and brave even when no one was watching had a ripple effect beyond what he could see. If this story touched your heart even a little, if it reminded you that ordinary people can do extraordinary things, please take a moment now to like the video, share it with someone you care about, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Your support helps keep stories like this alive.